like that question. I'd like to see something about our
It's
stock.
called a softball.
Yeah, because a lot of attendees here are from a high-tech or technology background. Probably you have heard a lot about NASDAQ or NYSE and their stories, successful stories. For London Stock Exchange, probably you haven't heard that much. Yes, we're quite different. We're a European stock exchange. We're one of the largest, we're based in London, one of the largest financial centers in the world. What makes our different? Number one, we are the most international stock exchange in the world. I can tell you half of our companies, listed companies, in terms of trading volume and the market cap are non-UK companies. This is quite unique in the world, right? You can't name any other stock exchange has such a large percentage of foreign companies listed. And also London as the long-term world financial center, it has the most equity capital invested in international companies. Probably half of its total equity investment are in international companies, not domestic companies. That shows the interest from UK investors in foreign companies. Number two, the way we regulate our market is quite different. It's almost opposite of the American style. We're very light touch, very high level regulation regime. We call it principle-based regulation versus rule-based in the US. To make it shorter, it's very flexible and it accommodates different companies, different situation. A listing process and the maintenance cost are much lower than in the US. Oh yes, you mentioned Air China. Yes, that's a large state-owned enterprise listed in London Stock Exchange in 2004. It's a dual listing in Hong Kong and London. In terms of the size of companies that should consider London as a primary market, I would say we welcome all sizes of companies from all industries because London has a very deep pool of capital, probably the largest capital market in the world. And also comparing to the US market or Hong Kong market, the capital supply in London is more diversified. We have this, of course, the same investors from the global asset management or investment fund, but we also have investors from Middle East, from Russia, from other emerging markets. These investors always consider London as their favorite place to invest. So there's always capital available, a very deep pool of capital available, and investors are looking at all sizes of companies, large ones, big ones, emerging ones, state-owned, private-owned, all sorts of companies can seek capital in London. The ones I think should consider London, I agree with what Michael or Mr. Xu said just now. Listing right now is not only just for the purpose of fundraising. Fundraising is only a part of a listing. Right now, I think more and more companies in China are taking a more rational approach to decide where to go list their company, whether the listing is going to be in line with their business strategy, whether the listing is going to help the company to fulfill its globalization ambition. I think that's just as important as fundraising. I can give you one example of what kind of companies can consider London. I have this company from Shenzhen. It's in the business of distributing European pharmaceutical products, the new ones. It's a small company and it chose to go listed on London's A market, the growth market. The chairman was very happy with the outcome, not only because of the fundraising, but also, which is more important, that before they have to work very hard to talk to different European pharmaceutical companies to get the right to distribute their products. After they're listed in London, it's opposite. The European companies start to call them up, say, okay, I know you're listed in London, look like a good company, can you sell our products in China? So that's the angle I'm talking about, to align the listing with your business development strategy.